All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakak Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. And this is going to be a lesson going into what did our freedom get us, man, right? And the thing that sparked this video is I was just literally just going into some topics concerning women's body counts and the reasons why women hide their body count, and ways how women lie about their body count, and ways how women will minimalize their body count, and comparing it to how they are with men, comparing it to how women will insult a man by saying that he doesn't get women, while at the same time they'll say that call another woman a hoe, a harlot, a slut, or something like that to try and downgrade another woman, while at the same time complaining about a double standard in the world of where men slut shame women, but women do that to each other themselves, right? And it just made me realize that they're hypocrites, and that ultimately, all this freedom that women asked for and received, it hasn't made them happier. But then when I just said forget women for a second, and let's look at the nation of Israel, that is Yahweh's woman, right? The freedom that they received, where did that get them? The freedom that we received and that we desired, where we was outside of the bounds of Yahweh, right? What did that actually get us, man? Right? What did that actually get us in a general realm of things, man? And I can't remember where the scripture is, but it says something along the lines of Yahweh made man upright, but he saw out many imaginations, man. Right? God made men upright, but he saw out many imaginations. And I want to try and find that verse, but I cannot even imagine, I can't even think where it says that, man. But it says something roughly along those lines, man. Right? Where God created man upright, but he saw out many inventions. But I can't even remember where that is right now. I went, before I even decided to turn on this camera, I couldn't even really think of too many scriptures on this particular topic, man. But yet I know that it's in there. I know that all the scriptures are in the Bible concerning this particular point, man. That one good place to go to is the Song of Moses, right? Because the Israelites sought out freedom outside of Yahweh, right? Let's go to this, man. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided the nations, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For Yahweh's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found them in a desert land, and in the waste howling wilderness. He led them about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. So Yahweh alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. He made him ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields, and made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock, butter of kine and milk of sheep, with the fat of lambs and rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats with the fat of the kidneys of wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked, and art waxen fat. Thou art waxen fat. Let me read that again. But Jeshurun, which is a nickname for the Israelites, waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They sought out freedom, right? The Israelites sought out freedom. But you know what's funny? And I'm going to skip to the point real quick right now, and then I'm going to go back to these scriptures, right? But the thing that the Israelites, we're all of the elect, of the hopeful elect right now, are seeking, man, is we're basically saying to Yahweh what the women are going to be saying to us, Lord willing, in Isaiah 4:1, man. We're saying we'll eat our own bread, we'll wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name, to take our approach. That's what the women are going to be saying to us. But we're saying that now to Yahweh, man. We're basically saying in our spirits, man, we'll do whatever you want us to do. Just please destroy this society, right? And bring us under that new covenants that we can do whatever you want us to do. We just want to do whatever you want us to do. We ain't got our own thought process of what we want. We know now that there ain't no other better moral code outside of you. So just put us under your moral code, put us under your wing, and make us do what you want us to do, which is the law, statutes, and commandments. Put us under your way, circumcise our heart, and make us do what you do. We don't want no freedom no more outside of. We don't want to have to, like, that's what women are pretty much trying to say to men now. But they're doing it in wickedness. Women are pretty much saying to men now, they don't want to have to think in a relationship. They want to just be able to do, like, just live. That's what women are really trying to say to men, but they don't think that they have to do anything in return to get that from men, and that's why they're not receiving it. But men are really, the men of Yahweh by Shem Shai are saying that to Yahweh in the spirit. They don't really want to have to think. They don't want to have to think about Yahweh's laws and his ways. They want to just have it in them and do it. You see what I mean? They just want to have the ways in them, man. They don't want to have to think about it and go about to do things, to think about Yahweh's ways. They just want to have it there and be able to have it there and do it. You see what I mean? They don't want to have to think about it. Just like women don't really want to have to think in a relationship. They don't want to have to work. You know, they don't want to have to do anything. But that's wicked for them to think that, though, that they shouldn't have to do anything. Because we understand that we have to do things right now to make Yahweh and put us under the new covenant, man. We don't believe that we're just going to get put under the new covenant for nothing. Like, at the highest level of understanding these scriptures, we are just going to get put under this new covenant because Yahweh wants us to be under there. But he's put works in us that's going to make us be worthy, if you can even say it that way. That's going to make us receive mercy, right? God has before, right, let's get it. Let me read it. Let me read how it says it so I don't mess it up. Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 10. For we are his workmanship, right? For we are his workmanship, created in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai into good works, which you have before ordained that we should walk in them. But women ain't trying to come towards men and say that they're prepared to walk in all of a man's ways. Not yet, they ain't. Whereas right now, we would be happy right now, man. If I woke up under the new covenant right now, tomorrow, mate, you know how happy I'd be? If I just woke up under the new covenant, I don't have to worry about being wicked anymore. But if these women woke up under the ways that men say that they want from them tomorrow, they'd be miserable. They'd think that they're a slave. If they woke up not having their Instagram, not having their social media, not being able to go outside and dress like a hoe, not being able to just gallivant and travel up the streets, travel through this city, travel through that city, they'd feel like they've been oppressed. But if we woke up under Yahweh's ways, man, you know how happy we'd be. Because we'd understand that comes with something. But these women in this world, they don't think that anything comes from following the ways that a man desires. They feel like that's oppression. Because they don't care about us the way how we care about Yahweh. Right? But just like how I've said about the women, what has your freedom got you? What has the men of the nation's freedom and our whole nation in general, what did our freedom get us, man? What did we end up with for all this freedom and chase apart from being able to sin? What did we end up with? We ended up cursed in all these different lands, ridiculed and mocked. Verse 16, they provoked him to do 32 and verse 16, they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, chasing freedom. Or we want to serve that God. Okay, we've heard about Yahweh, but we want to serve that God and see what it's like to serve them. Or when you're serving that God, you're allowed to eat pork. Or when you're serving that God, you're allowed to commit adultery. And I noticed that there was loads of Israelite women that wanted to commit adultery with me. But when I was serving this Yahweh, I couldn't commit adultery and I had to miss out on all those women. But when I serve this idol, then I can commit adultery. That's how our nation was thinking, man. That's how they still think. Right? That's how they still think, man. The doctrine of Christianity has skewed adultery. Right? It's skewed what fornication is and all of that to where people are comfortable committing adultery. Even among people that claim to be Israelites, there's adultery in their thing, man. And they'll be laughing about it, reading the messages saying, oh, I like this nasty stuff. I'm nasty with it. I like this nasty stuff. What? That's not a thing. Adultery is not something that's supposed to be mocked. If a man's wife commits adultery on him, you ain't supposed to blame him. Oh, well, if you wasn't putting it down right, oh, you wasn't watching the Kama Sutra, you wasn't putting it down right, you didn't know enough sex moves to keep her tamed. If you would have been better at sex, she wouldn't have committed adultery on you. You don't know that. Where's that in the scriptures that it says, oh, if you wasn't putting it down on a woman sexually enough good, then she's allowed to commit adultery on you? Where's that in the scriptures? That ain't nowhere in there. That ain't nowhere in there. Because really, the woman ain't supposed to have anything to compare what you do to her sexually to what anyone else does. To be honest with you, she ain't supposed to have nothing to compare it to. She ain't supposed to. Just like how we as a nation wasn't supposed to have anything to compare what Yahweh does to anything else. We weren't supposed to be looking at the other nations and how they do their thing to try and compare it to Yahweh's thing. But we chased freedom, got the freedom, and look at us now. Look at how dumb our people look, man. Look at how stupid we look. The women of our nation are dumb as hell. And yet their voice gets to tell and guide our nation on what to do, but they're dumb. Like when I hear the average Israelite woman talking and I see the things that comes out of her mouth, I see the way how she justifies wearing weave. I'm like, man, our women really are dumb. Like, I'm not saying it to try and be mean. I'm saying it because I mean it. The women of Israel, right? These so-called black women, these Latino women, these Native American women, like you don't even really see too much about the Native American woman, man. But you know that they're coon sellouts too, man. You know that they're through as well, fat as well too. They're fat as too, man. Right? I've saw certain videos when I've seen some of them Native American women, and they ain't all looking like Pocahontas out here, man. Some are looking like the 8 Pocahontas. You get me? They ain't just some delicate kittens. They ain't Sarah, Rachel, or Leah in the reincarnation, man. Some of them are wicked as hell too, man. And they're not all hot too. And they ain't the Northern Kingdom women ain't all beauty queens neither. Because there's a term that I've came across called a torta. And a torta is basically a fat Mexican woman, man. A fat Latino woman. A torta. Torta. Yeah. So if all the Mexican women are just some Latino, big booty Latinos looking like Jennifer Lopez fine ass back in the day, then there wouldn't be no term called a torta, would they? But they ain't all looking like that, are they? No, they're not. Right? Verse 17. They sacrificed unto idols, not to God. So they started giving praise unto other gods, fake gods that don't even really exist instead of Yahweh. Just like how our women of our nation started giving praise and reverence unto this society instead of praise and reverence unto us, right? And they started having everything bad to say about the so-called black man. But then when the so-called white man does exactly the same things, they didn't even see it. They didn't even actually acknowledge that he was doing it. They said about a so-called black man, he gotta have game, he gotta have a ponytail, he gotta carry himself with some swag. But then when they're dating a so-called white man, he don't need no swag. They don't say that a so-called white man needs no swag to get him. He don't need to have no swag. And you want to know who one of the main people that was able to bun this out on a major scale, man? That Tommy Sotomayor guy, man. He used to bun you Israelite women out, man, and still does. Proving the hypocrisy of y'all, man. But he's still wicked himself. And he don't really know what's going on. He don't believe the Hebrew Israelite thing. Although I've seen him mention it in a debate with Sneeko and Myron Gaines, that demon. And he was with Tariq Nasheed as well. And he pointed out and was saying to them, but there's loads of black people in this world that believe that's them so-called Jewish people. He never said it like that, but I'm saying it. He said Jewish people, that they stole their identity. And you can't try and tell them that what they believe ain't real, because they believe it. It doesn't matter whether you think it's true or not. They believe it. And he was cutting them with that. Right? And that's still online, I believe. I still believe that debate is online. Excuse me. But yeah, Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 17, they sacrificed unto devils and not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to gods new that came newly up. And that's why a lot of the women of our nation, man, and people are always gonna try and make it like, oh, this ain't real. A lot of the women of our nation, they don't like us. Like, they don't like us, man. They don't like you. Don't get mistaken that because the women of your family, right? Your woman, your so-called black woman, your mom, your nieces, that like maybe 20 women of your nation like you, that the rest of the women of your nation like you. Nah, just think back in your life. Which women's been causing you the most distress? Is it the women of the other nations, or is it the women of your own nation? Which woman's more likely to try and bun you out publicly? Is it the women of your nation, or is it the women of another nation? Which women are more likely to treat you in a neutral way versus treating you with disrespect when they first meet you, even when they don't know you? Is it the women of another nation, or is it the women of your own nation? And if you answer these questions honestly, most of the answers is going to be that the Israelite woman is going to treat you worse. Now, that's because of the curses anyway, but it's also because these women are desires to have freedom away from us, man. They actually really view the so-called black woman, and I'm going at Eve, the women of the Judah right now, but it's the women of all the different tribes anyway, but the women of Judah in particular, the Southern Kingdom, they view being a black woman something separate for the most part than being attached to the Israelite man. They think that they're a separate nation from us. So when they got the chance to try and side with feminism before siding with their own race and their own people, they'll decide to do that. They'll decide to do that first. And there was a situation where Ice Cube was trying to write some letter to, I think, Biden back in the day or something like that, and he was asking for things for so-called black people. And then the women was talking about some like, oh, how come you ain't put nothing in there for black women? And he was saying to them, well, black people, so-called black people, is black women. And they was like, nah. We need something separate in there for us. Showing that if they would have got the chance to write something towards a president, or to write something, or whenever they do get the chance to try and write something in, and it's supposed to be something for the whole nation, because they're the voice of our nation right now, in a worldly sense, not in a spiritual sense. In the spiritual sense, it's the men's voice that's doing all the movements, right? It's the men's voice that's the head of this Hebrew Israelite thing. And whenever any woman tries to get involved in it, it looks stupid, right? They need to shut the fuck up when it comes to that. But it shows that when women try and are got in a position to try and speak up for our nation, because they think about themselves as something separate, they normally just speak up for something for themselves only. And are prepared to throw all the men under the bus to try and get something just for themselves, because they don't really care. Women in general don't really care about looking at things from a nation perspective. And that's why you've got these so-called white women that have got the nerve to try and throw the so-called white man under the bus right now as his kingdom's falling, and think that they're just gonna jump in Jake's lap and become the top wife. Like, they actually really believe that, man. And because you so-called black women are so wicked towards the Israelite man, you actually are the reason why you give them that belief, man. Because if you actually treated the Israelite man in a good way, the Edomite woman wouldn't be so bold to try and do some of the things that she does. You know, the same way how you Israelite women don't feel confident to try and compete with the best Edomite man in front of an Edomite woman. You shouldn't be allowing the Edomite woman should feel like she couldn't win trying to get the best Israelite men. But she don't feel like it's a competition between you and her. She feels like she'll win every time. Because you Israelite women don't treat the Israelite man with respect anyway, for the most part. It's just the truth. And it's not always about the Edomite woman. There's Ishmaelite women that think that way as well, man. There's Elamite women that think that way. But it all goes back to that chasing of freedom. And what did you women's freedom get you? And what did our nation really receive from the freedom that we wanted outside of Yahweh? Look at how stupid we look. Look at how dumb we look. We have to live stream, play basketball or some sport, or be an entertainer, or have some kind of singing skills to have a sure way of getting some money in this world that makes it be even an amount that's a good amount to live off. That's what it seems like. Because all they try and gatekeep out most of the just normal, everyday, regular jobs that would be high paying. They try and gatekeep us out of that. That's what I see in the world anyway. And that's not to try and make out like, no, Jake can't get a good job. But that's not Jake's main goal in this world, man. They try and keep our minds away from even knowing that it's possible to do those kind of things. And then even when Jake does get those kind of jobs, there's things going on where they're trying to get rid of them. There's little subtle demonic ways that they're trying to get rid of them. And then when even Jake gets these celebrity jobs that are high paying and all of that, there's still evil things going on behind the scenes in that regard. So then when you understand all of these things, what can you say? That ultimately we need to remove our freedom and be under the guidance of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, our nation's husband, right? Our nation's husband, man, that planted us and has watered us and wants us to grow. And always just wanted the best for us, but we couldn't see it that way at that time. Just like how the Israelite man, when he's bunning you Israelite women out, even me now, when I'm telling you women about yourself, I'm saying it for you women to win. But you women, if you was to hear these words, you'd think, oh, this guy just hates black women, or this guy hates his mama black, his mama this, his mama that. When first things first, you ain't my mom. So whatever I say about you doesn't have any reflection on my mom. To me, my mom's just my mom, right? But what would my mom have been like to my father? Would my mom have been annoying to my father? Is a woman, is all of these Israelite men that have their mom, what would their father say about their moms though? Would they agree and say that they fit the same category as what I've said about you women? So telling us about our mom don't mean nothing. Just like telling us about our sister don't mean nothing, because if we got sisters, our sisters' men would find them annoying. Do you understand? If we got female cousins, they'd find them annoying. But to us, because we ain't no weirdos that want to deal with the women of our relatives like that, it's just our mom or it's just our sister. But to a man that wants to deal with him in that relationship way, they'd be annoying to them. So they would still match all of these things that's being said as well, and our mom ain't got nothing to do with it. But that's all part of the female witchcraft that's been pushed out in this world, where it's on some worship women stuff, when the women ain't doing nothing to be deserving to be worshipped anyway. If the women was all reaching Proverbs 31 status, then I could understand a little bit why these women would even think that they deserve some special treatment, but they're not even doing it. They're steady trying to be a man. And then at the same time as them trying to be a man, they ain't prepared to do with their money what a man's prepared to do with his money. Give me a trillion pounds. No woman that's around me is going to have to pay for anything or ever have to work in her life. She ain't going to have to work and do nothing to do work-wise. She ain't going to have to do none of that. But give a woman trillions and tell me if the men around her ain't going to have to work. Tell me if the man around her isn't going to be expected to have 2 trillion. Tell me if she ain't going to be looking for men that have wealth. You see what I mean? So women can never be men. They can never be men, because no matter what a man has, no matter what they have, they're always still looking at what a man has. Always. That's just the way it goes. They're not equal to us, man. We're better than them in that regard. We're more sincerely generous than they are. We're more sincerely generous, man. Women are not sincerely generous. They're not. Women's main, according to my opinion anyway, women's main reason to why they even desire to have money is to compete with other women. Because they still want a man to pay for their way no matter how much money they have. So it's like a thing where they're like, okay, I've got money when they're around women. So women can't try and say, oh, you just rely on a man. I've got money, but he just still takes care of me anyway because he loves me. That's the kind. It's like that's what they want, man. That's what they want to be able to try and say. And then they'll spend their money on their female friends, just like they're trying to simp out with their female friends. And that is truly like, I understand why Solomon said that their mind's heart is snares and nets, man, because thinking about the things that they do and trying to understand their ways is truly a tiring and demonic thing that can ruin your health, man. Like thinking about all the wickedness that they do from day to day, it becomes tiring to your flesh. Even thinking about the things that they do, it just becomes boring, man, where you're like, man, like, what's the point of even talking to them? They become boring. A woman becomes a boring thing to even consider after a while, man. Becomes a boring thing where you end up feeling like Paul, where you're like, man, it's better to not even deal with them for a time. And that's why one of the reasons what's going to cause Isaiah 4:1, because these women are going to realize that men ain't trying to even deal with them like that. To the point where they're going to have to try and up the stakes. Like, okay, we'll all deal with you. We'll all be your wife. And the things that men find annoying about them, where they're just always begging for money all the time and beggy, expecting all kind of different bare things that they ain't never experienced before in their life. Just expecting bare things all the time. They're going to say, you don't even have to do none of that stuff anymore. I don't want none of that from you. All I want is for you to be my man. All that taking care of me stuff, all that treat me good stuff, bun all that I won't go Cheesecake Factory, fuck all that. All I want is to be with you. I don't want nothing else in return but to be with you. All that fake dignity stuff, all that ego stuff that they got right now, their little female pride and female ego and that's all going to go right down the pan. That's going straight in the toilet, man. It's going in the toilet. Yeah, that's all going into the toilet, man. But anyway, let's let's carry on with this, man. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 17 again. They sacrificed unto devils, not to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful, and has forgotten Yahweh that formed thee. We sought out, our nation sought out freedom. The men sought out freedom, and look at how our men are now, running around like some batty boys, man. People just joke about the Diddy thing now. Oh, no Diddy. The geezer was literally paying men to murk off his woman, man, in the bedroom and that. Just paying men, and he all up in the background in the corner. But before this information came out, you would have thought that Diddy was the man. He all in camera, all in the videos, shaking up himself, Diddy bopping, right? The geezer a millionaire, he all up in the videos. He got Cassie, yeah. He got this beautiful woman and all that. He's doing all this. You want a record deal, baby? You want to do this? And here's the thing. All them celebrities are like that. But some of them might not be the man in the corner. They'll be the man dealing with the woman. When Kevin Hart recently had a roast, right? And I'm telling you, man, I think that this guy probably worse than Diddy, man. This is just my opinion again. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, man. I think that guy is a demon. I think he is, man. No matter how much I used to watch WWE in the past. Oh, if you smell la 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 and all that, yeah, he was cool. He had charisma. He do the people's punch and all that. He do the people's elbow. He drag off the elbow sleeve, throw it. He do the crisscross of the arms. Yeah, he hit the rock bottom. He do the punches. He fall down. He does the kip up with no hands. That move's cool as hell. Yeah, he hit Hulk Hogan with 3 rock bottoms and the 2 people's elbows or whatever. Yeah, he does the people's eyebrow. He's got charisma. Finally, The Rock has come back. No matter all that, forget all that. That guy, I think he's a demon. No matter how cool he seemed when we was children and all that, I think that guy's a demon. When he was doing that roast with Kevin Hart, he telling Kevin Hart, come and suck on his nipple and all kind of crazy shit, right? And it didn't seem like he was a joke. And he was saying, oh, now that there's a crowd, or now that there's all these people around, you don't want to do it. And I believe that he was really talking from the heart there, man. No pun intended. I believe he was really talking from the heart, and that they actually really did all that crazy ass shit, man. He's saying to Kevin Hart's wife, oh, I'm asleep with you. You need to be with a real man. I reckon that he probably has slept with Kevin Hart's wife. And that's all part of the riches that they was told, y'all better do this. And even if you want to say, oh, nah, he ain't. And even if it is true that he ain't, why are you saying you're going to sleep with another man's wife? You're The Rock. You got all this fame and all this charisma, right? Get your own woman, man. There's plenty of other women that will want to deal with you. So why are you trying to get another man's woman, why? Why are you trying to get another man's wife for? Get your own woman. But it doesn't matter how rich you Jakes get. It doesn't matter how much ability you have to get your own women to where you don't need to deal with another man's woman. You don't want it that way. You actually desirous to have another man's woman because you're demons. No matter how rich you Israelites get, you never think, you know what, I want my own batch of women. And they never go, you know what, I want some women that are a virgin. I'm gonna find some beautiful librarian somewhere, right? That just is into reading books, and she might have wanted to write a book one day, and I'm gonna use some of my money to help her be able to start her own book and start her own library. And all she's gonna do is just be a librarian. She ain't gonna want to be all up in the scene, all up on camera. She's just gonna want to be into her books. They don't do that. They don't try and find some pretty school teacher, school teaching woman and all that. And if they do find someone that's just a regular woman, they try and make her be part of the streets, man. They don't make her just be behind the scenes. Excuse me. And this society doesn't try and keep the wives of famous men behind the scenes or women of behind the scenes anyway. It tries to push them all out in the forefront, man, to where they're all up in the atmosphere, giving women way too big of a voice when the voice of women is really something that needs to be silenced in this world because it's led to a lot of wickedness, man. It's led to a lot of wickedness, and it cannot be denied. And that's why it's one of the main prophecies that we're waiting to see is the humbling of women. And as Esau carries on starting to get humbled, it's going to require you women to get humbled because he's going to not have as much. As he starts to lose power, he's going to have to just let go of certain things to try and maintain his main power. Right? He's going to have to let go of some of the gifts that he gives to women in order to try and focus more on the witchcraft that he's got going on in this world in other places. He's going to have to he's already trying to starting to let go of some of the fake love for you Jakes because it ain't working no more. So the fake love that he's got for you Jakes is no longer a thing that he can afford to try and keep upholding. So he's openly being more hateful towards you because him trying to uphold that is no point because that stronghold's been cast down. We know you don't love us. We know y'all don't like us. So it's becoming more of a bold thing where they are towards Jake. The women thing, like women have baited out how much they hate men. So now that's not a thing that men are buying no more. So Esau is going to start saying, okay, since these women ain't helping me deceive the men anymore, because they've openly blabbed their mouths about how much they hate men and all that, and they've went too far with all this feminism stuff that I use to trick their stupid asses. Like I may as well stop giving them all the little trinkets that I gave them to trick men. So all this government benefit things that I've gave them, I'm just going to start taking it away now, and they're going to start being through. Women are starting to lose out, man. But yeah, Howard's doing that to our whole nation in general anyway, man. Where our nation's going to start losing out on some of these things to where we're saying, you know what, we don't want the freedom no more because the day of the Lord's wrath is where Yahweh's going to allow everyone to have a real view of what freedom's like, man. Like one of the things that people in this world like to say is, I do what I want to do. But really, you don't want to live in a world where everyone does what they want to do. But Yahweh's going to give people a chance to see what a world where people do what they want to do looks like. Or you want to live in a world where people do what they want to do. All right, bet. I'm going to show you. So the men that are scumbags that want to do harmful things to women, I'm going to set them up in a situation where they can do whatever they want to do. The women that want to finesse men and use men to pay for every single thing in their life, I'm going to set them up where they think that they can do that. The men that want to go around harming people without cause, I'm going to set them up to be able to do that. You know what? Everything evil that people want to do, I'm going to set them all up to be able to do whatever they want to do. There's going to be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions, shall stand in their power. Right? Everyone's going to get their chance to see if what they think the way of the world's supposed to be works. Or you think being a player, being a gal is what the gal them want, what the gal them need, or you think that's what means something? Okay, let's see. Or you think having big arms and going gym and just it's about how much gains you can make, bro. Or you think that's what matters? Okay, we're gonna see. Or you think being a tough guy and being the best fighter is what matters? Okay, we're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna see. Or you think being a nerd and just knowing all kind of book smart knowledge, and oh, you don't know much book smart knowledge as me. You don't know as much as me. You can't retain as much knowledge as me. You ain't got intellect. Okay, you think that's what matters? Well, let's see. Yeah? Let's see then. Yahweh's going to put y'all all to the test, man. Or I think believing in the God that created the heavens and the earth, that matters. Okay, we gonna see. Yeah? Because when we get our heads put in them guillotines, are we gonna be prepared if we've got that faith to have that blade swing down? Yeah. But the other people ain't gonna. The person that thinks about muscular gains, they were like, nah, I'm gonna take the MOTB because I can take the MOTB and still have a protein shake. That's what they're gonna think. The women that are attractive and they think it's all about that, they can still wear makeup with the MOTB. But the men of faith, you can't claim to have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai with the MOTB in you, because that means that you haven't got it. That means that you haven't really got the faith, that you're a liar. Right? What did our freedom really get us, man? What did the freedom outside of Yahweh really get us except for crying and wanting it back anyway? What did it really get us? And what did the freedom that you women was designed to have, what did it really get you? Except asking, still wanting for some man to marry your wicked ass anyway? Still at the end of it all, like, it's the funniest thing. These women want all this sexual freedom to just run around and sleep with as many men as they want, right? Well, then what do they end up desiring at the end of it all, though? A relationship. So you should have just had the relationship in the first place. Our nation, the Israelites, the men and the women, we were so desirous to have this freedom. We were worshipping all these idols, worshipping all these other gods, right? Following after Esau, following after Ishmael, following after Elam, following after the Hamites, right? You got all this conscious community in there pretending that the Egyptians and Mama Africa, never been there, right? As much as Sarnetta talks all this Africa stuff, does this guy even have a passport, bro? Has this guy ever been to Africa? As much videos as this guy's recorded, has he ever did a video in Africa? Has Sarnetta ever did a video in Africa? That's what I want to know. This guy, stay black, y'all, and all this. Stay black. Uh-oh. You know who it is? It's my main man. Where's his videos in Africa? He's had that shitlock, that shitlock Shaka Ammo skeezer all on his thing. Where's his video in Africa, though? Where's his video in Africa? Our nation's done all this, trying to seek out freedom from Yahweh. We worshipped and served everything under the sun. But what are we desiring now anyway? We still want Yahweh to try. We still want Yahweh to guide our nation. Even these people that say that they don't believe in the Israelites and all of that, really, if they really believe that this God existed, and they're the ones that complain, they're just sour. Excuse me. They're just sour at hearing the truth of what Yahweh is about. They want to try and make the God of the Bible be just the all love thing, and they want him to try and show the love. They don't want him to have anger that he shows as well. Just like how women might find a man attractive in this world. They might find a man attractive and handsome, but then he's got standards. So they're like, oh, nah, I ain't trying to deal with this guy. He's got standards. I ain't trying to deal with no guy that's got he too controlling. He's controlling because he don't want a woman that dresses like a hoe. Or he too controlling. He. That's what people are trying to say about Yahweh. Oh, he's too controlling. He wants me to have to do good things to be under the blessings. I can't deal with all that. And then if I do the wrong thing, he gonna curse me. That's what the women are trying to say. Oh, I don't want to be with this man. Although, okay, he is handsome, but he got standards. So if I do this stuff, if I go out on his girl nights out and I do this and I do that, he gonna leave me. He gonna end the relationship. Yeah, of course he's gonna. Because he don't want to be with no hoe. And of course, Yahweh's going to cast us out because he don't want no woman representing him as no hoe. You better come correct when you're dealing with Yahweh. And the thing that's the beautiful is that Yahweh's going to turn our whole nation into non-hoes. You see what I mean? He's gonna turn our nation away from being like that, man. He ain't gonna make there be any harlot among the nation of Israel, male or female harlot, man. There ain't gonna be no male or female harlot. Our whole nation's finna be cleansed, man. He's gonna rid us of all of our wickedness, man. We're gonna be a good riddance from all of that. We're gonna be cleansed, you know. But again, what was all of our freedom worth, man, that we desired outside of Yahweh? What was it all worth? What was it all worth? Because as we can see, all the other nations are doing the same wickedness as us, and yet they don't get punished like we do. They're wicked, but they're above us. We're wicked and we're below them. So it makes sense for us to do the things that's beneficial to our nation, which is to keep the laws. But when you say that, people, they've got a problem with it. Or they say that you're just only talking about the law. No, the end result of it is going to be that our nation keeps the laws anyway. Hebrews 8 and 10, Jeremiah 31, verse 33. Verse 20, verse 19, I mean. And when Yahweh saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters, because they were going out seeking freedom. Or you don't want to be under the realm of your father, yeah? Or you're seeking freedom. You little spoiled brat teenagers, man. That's how he acted towards Yahweh. Like some spoiled brat teenagers or a spoiled brat harlot over-demanding wife. Yeah, verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. Okay, you want freedom, nigga? All right, go ahead and watch what's gonna happen in the end of you. And that's what we're saying to you women, man. Right? And it's a beautiful thing that Yahweh set us up in a way that the men of our nation can easily see the things that we did to Yahweh just by comparing it to the things that our women do to us. Now, the women of our nation are so stiff-necked in heart, even more than the men, that I'd like to know what they view. What is the thing that they compare in real life to see how they did Yahweh or to see how Dave did us? I really personally don't really think that they actually have even considered it, really. I don't think that women actually have actual empathy. We've got empathy. We can see how we did Yahweh by looking at how Yahweh, like how our women do us right now. But the women of our nation, they don't really have that, man. They don't have that in them. They don't have that. Verse 19 again, and when Yahweh saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I'm going to cast your ass away, right? I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom there is no faith. And that's what we're saying to you women. Okay, y'all have got a problem with us men, yeah? Okay, fuck you then. We ain't going to be dating y'all like that. We ain't going to be going out of our way. We're going to use y'all as recreational use only, right? We ain't going to be trying to pour out our time and be going out of our way to try and pay for your life, yeah? Let's see what your end's going to be. Or you think that there's some better options out there amongst the other nations of men? All right, go look for it then, and you ain't finding it. The Israelite woman is the Israelite woman is not even a really thing that makes the Israelite man look good to be seen with. So how the hell is it going to make another nation look good? If you women actually had any sense, right? If the Israelite woman actually treated the Israelite man in a good way, right? Then when he's seen in public with her, it's going to seem like, oh man, wow, that Israelite man's got that Israelite woman, and look at how good she makes him look in public. Look at how, man, she ain't making him have no shame. She's actually enhancing his reputation. Oh, look at how she's acting in public. She's acting real feminine in public. She's actually making her husband look better, because man, her husband's got a woman that acts like this in public, and no man can sway her eyes. Look at how good she's making him look, and then when she's with him, she's so feminine when she's with him, and when he's not there. Look at how nice she is when he's not there, and she's not embarrassing him, overly talking to men, going out of her way to be all up in the presence of men's face. Even though men are trying to, she ain't going for it, and she's realizing the trick that them men are only trying to do that to try and lower her man's value in public. If Israelite women was treating Israelite men like that, then maybe the men of other nations might think, you know what? I want an Israelite woman. I want to date an Israelite woman so that she can make me look good in public. But the Israelite woman don't even do that for the Israelite man. And the other nations and men will think, okay, if she doesn't even do that for the men of her own nation, why the fuck is she gonna do it for me? Because I'm Indian, or I'm Sikh, or I'm Ishmaelite, I'm a Hamite, I'm an Ethiopian, or I'm a Moab, I'm an Ammon, I'm an Edomite. So why is she gonna do that for me if she doesn't even do it for him? And I'm not gonna be able to make the Israelite man jealous by walking down the street with an Israelite woman because he don't even want to know more. When the Israelite man really in mass actually didn't know how evil you women are towards us, then it would work, right? Then it was the thing like, okay, yeah, okay, you can get away with that because the Israelite man still wants us, so he'll be jealous to see her with. But I don't feel no envy really when I see the average Israelite woman walking on the street with a heathen, man. I don't feel no envy. I don't feel like, oh man, y'all stealing our sisters, man. I just think through. I just think, I don't think like maybe if it's a super attractive Israelite woman, I might be like, okay, like yeah. But for the average, I don't think anything of it. I don't feel no envy in my heart. I don't feel no jealousy. I don't feel that. Previously in the past, I might have, but now that I see what these women are on, the Israelite woman in particular, I don't feel that. Just like how our nation, the more that we try and not be about Yahweh, these other nations then are like, man, well, what do we need for these people then? What do we need them for? The more that they're getting closer to try and make their new world order, the more that they're realizing that they don't care about you Jakes, man. Because they're already getting closer and closer, and they want to replace most of y'all ass with a robot, so they don't care about you. When they had a more of a use for you to try and manipulate the world, then okay. But now that they've got artificial ways of manipulating the same world, they don't need you as much, man. They don't need y'all. And now they're starting to, and that's why they're starting to show their hatred towards you more boldly, more openly, because they don't feel like they need you anymore. But you don't have the sense to actually consider these things, man. Y'all haven't considered this. Y'all minds are still stuck in the mud, and you ain't considering this, man. They hate your guts, man. What did our freedom get us? Verse 21, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those that are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Just like how we right now are being made to see a foolish nation ruling our world. Yahweh literally gave our world to a bunch of idiot nations, man, for a short time. He gave it to Esau, and look, you know, and the Israelite woman, I heard one of the Apostle Rakar going into this, that the Israelite woman all of a sudden now wants to try and be racist and hate so-called white people and that now. But the only reason why she's really doing it is because she's starting to realize that a lot of Israelite men are dealing with Edomite women. So all of a sudden now she's got hatred in her heart towards Edomite women and Edomites and that. But it's not real. It's only because they're realizing that some of the men that they want to date are getting taken by Edomite women, which some of those women that look like Edomite women might not be anyway. But this isn't this video ain't no Captain Save a Edomite woman, man. This ain't no World Tour Grand Prix for saving no heathens. The Edomite woman is not gonna be the top woman in the kingdom of heaven. It's gonna be the Israelite woman that's the top woman in the kingdom of heaven, and that's gonna be the best woman to have a children with. Because if you're gonna want to have your son or your daughter always have the potential to see their mother, the best woman to have a child with is always gonna be an Israelite woman, right? Because the Edomite woman or the heathen woman would eventually perish. And now we believe in reincarnation, right? So if you was to make your son one of your children in the kingdom, and this is just me speaking, like, because we don't know all the ins and outs of what it's gonna be like, but we know what we believe, man. So if you was to have a Edomite woman as a mother for one of your children in the kingdom, and they end up become an immortal Israelite of the royal seed of Israel, yeah, and they're immortal now. Okay, eventually Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18 is going to be fulfilled. So after 1,000 years, that woman's never going to exist anymore. But then we believe in reincarnation. So let's say that the woman that you had a child with to produce your children in the kingdom, she was an Elamite, right? Okay, that woman's eventually going to perish just because she's not an immortal. But then through reincarnation, she'll come back though, innit? But her coming back in reincarnations is technically, I guess, not her coming back as that child's mom every single generation, although she still is the mom, but then she'd come back younger than them. You see what I mean? She'd come back younger than her child in each reincarnation, if that makes sense, if I'm coming across and I'm making sense properly, right? When she first gives birth to that child, she'd be older than the child, right? Even though the child's immortal and going to outlive her anyway. But then eventually, she'd perish because she's not immortal, be reincarnated, but then she's going to be younger than her child. You see what I mean? She'd be young, like it's just a thing where it makes more sense that most of Israelite men are going to be wanting to have children with the Israelite woman because she's going to be the best looking woman for starters. Like part of the whole dealing with the heathen woman for concubines is going to be a spitting in the face towards our enemies. Although we're going to have pleasure in that too, but it's going to be a thing like we're going to be showing these other nations like, mate, we're better than you. And this is the proof of it. Your women don't want to deal with you like that. The best looking women from your nation ain't really trying to deal with you like that. Just like how really, for the most part, the best looking women of our nation right now ain't trying to really deal with Jake like that, man. She ain't really, they don't really look at us in a way of respect. Not really. And just because your woman might look at you, that's not the nation, though. That's not the nation. You know what I mean? The average Israelite woman is going to treat the average Edomite man with more respect when she just meets him initially than she's going to treat the average Israelite man with. She'll try and greet Jake with, "What's up, nigga?" I've seen it, mate. I've experienced it. "What's up, nigga? Hey, nigga." And that will be an Israelite woman that likes you, that's talking to you like that. That will be actually how she flirts. "Yo, what's good, nigga?" "What's good, nigga?" And you're like, "What? Am I talking to one of the man then?" "Yo, what's up, nigga?" And you're like, "Huh?" And that's an Israelite woman that likes you. "Hey, nigga." That's you might think I'm joking. That's real. Tell me I'm lying, or some of you brothers out there, tell me I'm lying about that. That Israelite woman that actually likes you. She thinks you're handsome or that. She'll greet you with, "What's good, nigga?" And that's meant to be some game and some flow. "What's good, nigga?" Oh, man. That's how they'll greet you. "Yo, what's good, nigga?" Shit, man. So lucky how much have you on show. But it's real, though. Like, where's the femininity in that? "Yo, what's good, Dilla?" Where's the femininity in that, bro? But someone might say, "Oh, well, that's the Israelite woman that you've been around." Yeah. But I ain't ever been greeted like that by no woman of no heathens, though. You know what I mean? The Israelite woman don't even know how to talk to Jake with respect. But she knows how to talk to her boss with respect, though, man. But people will say, "Oh, nah, you're making this up." But if I'm making it up, then explain why Micah 7 and 10 is gonna happen. Explain why Isaiah 4 and 1 is gonna happen. If it was already in a righteous society, then we would already be saying that to men. "Well, eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, and only speak called by thy name to take away our reproach." They'd already understand that their reproach needs to be taken away by a man. They'd already understand that that's supposed to be the order of things, but they don't understand it because they think that they're better right now. But it's just going into how the freedom that we desire to have against from Yahweh, what did it really cause, man? It didn't cause nothing. And that's why, right? And this is all covered in Deuteronomy 30 anyway. And I'm going to just jump to the point. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 6. "And Yahweh thy power will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed, to love Yahweh thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live." That's what we're waiting for, man. That's what we're desirous to see. We don't want to have no freedom, man. We don't want no freedom from the Lord. We just want him to put us under his way, and we just be under there. And if you women were sincere and actually honest, which you are not, you would admit that you really just want a man to come and save you from yourself. That's what we want. We want your help. You know what? Yeah, let me go to this. You see, Paul, yeah, he was asking for that basically, man. He said, "Who's you know what? Let me read it. Let me read it. Where does it say that, man? Romans chapter 7 and verse 24. "O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death?" And that's what we're saying. The men of the nation are saying, man, we just want Yahweh to get. You see, when brothers and elders and apostles, everyone's saying, man, we need to get the hell out of here. You know what we're really saying? We need to get the hell out of. Well, this society in general, right? That this society needs to change, and we need to get out of this place, right? We need to get out of the realms of being controlled by Esau. We're saying that, right? Then we're saying we need to get out of this body that we have. We need to get out of this body that we have where we are under its influence, man. And if you women of our nation was actually honest and sincere, you would admit that you really want men to save you from yourself. But you're not honest. And that's why you're going to have to get it the hard way. You're going to have to learn the hard way, man. Because y'all are not honest that you really want a man to save you from the job that you do, that you don't like, or even the job that you do like. You don't want to have to make financial decisions. You don't want to have to do that, right? Women don't want to have to do that. But at the same time as they don't want to have to do that, they still are always fighting and designed to have all these different jobs when really it doesn't even make sense as far as I can see for women to even have money. It doesn't make sense for women to even have their own money, in my opinion, because they're always still looking for some man's money anyway. So if there's a situation where you can hire a man or hire a woman, it makes more sense for society's sake to be righteous, for always to be given a thing where the man gets the job first. If the woman gets the job before the man, that man's never gonna get no money if he don't get no job, and no one he's gonna be asked out, or people are gonna look at him like he's a bum if he has to get money and help from the government. But if the woman doesn't get the job, she's gonna get the money from a man anyway, because she's gonna desire the woman money from a man, even if she does get the job. That's just what I see. Because we look at this world like sociologists, man. We examine the things going on there and be like, man, Yahweh's laws will be better. Yahweh's laws will make all of this better, man. And that's where we understand that the freedom that we were so desirous to have, what was the point? Paul understood it. O wretched man that I am, verse 24, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? He was saying, man, I need to get the hell up out of this flesh. And we understand that now. The last enemy, 1 Corinthians chapter 1 Corinthians chapter 15, right, and verse 26. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 26. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Our freedom that we were so desirous to have, we wanted to try and see what it do over in that nation and serving that God. What did it get us but death? It didn't get us nothing but dying, man. What is the point of it? And when you compare the women thing and this, you can see that, like, what is the point of all you women seeking all this freedom from men when you still now are searching out whatever a man can do for you anyway? You didn't search out all this freedom and say you want to, and completely want to be exempt and outside of anything to do with men. You still wanted men to do things for you anyway. Just like how we tried to seek freedom from Yahweh, but what are we trying to call for now? To be under Yahweh again? So what was the point of being away from him in the first place? We may as well have stayed under him in the first place, right? We may as well have stayed under him in the first place. But I'm end the lesson there, man. I just wanted to put that thought process into the atmosphere, man. Like, what is the point of our freedom? What is the point? All this freedom that we sought away from Yahweh, what was the point of it? What did it get us but death? Shalom to the elect. Shalom.